please tell us a little bit more about the film?
Sure. So my name is Russell Friedenberg. I'm the writer-director of Windwalkers, and my story is about a young man who comes back from serving overseas in the war, and he goes on his annual hunting trip with his friends and extended family into the Florida Everglades. They're going boar hunting, and shortly thereafter, one by one, they start to mysteriously disappear, and we don't know if he is somehow culpable or responsible for these disappearances. So it's a mystery and a horror, a thriller.
So can you please tell us a little bit about the character that you play and how he contributes to the story?
He has no contribution at all. I can't. No, I play a character, Neelis Kingston, and he's the fatherly figure and kind of the patriarch of the group. I actually have in the film, I have two characters that are actually my sons, and then I have a couple other that I treat as family, and I think I contribute. In my mind, my responsibility is to take care of everything. Make sure, like a father would, make sure everything's under control, make sure, I wear the weight of the world on my shoulders, in my viewpoint.
My character is Sue Kingston, and I'm the wife of Neelis Kingston, LaRose, and we are the parents of two children, and our son is missing, and he comes back from the war, and something's with him, and they go on a hunting trip, and they become the hunted, and it's just full of twists and turns, and it's very exciting, really exciting. It's a very unique story.
I play Kotz. He's sort of, I guess, one of the central characters of the film. He's a young soldier who's come back from fighting in the war, and he's kind of troubled by his experiences over there. And when the film starts, you don't really know what happened to him, but we come to find that he was actually, him and his friend were taken prisoner of war, and his friend was kind of infected by this being that causes him to sort of want to attack and consume people. And so I've brought my troubles home. So now my duty in the film and my responsibility is to try and take my own issues and save everybody else from them.
I play a character called Manny. He's a very, very disturbed individual after he comes back from war. So he carries this illness that actually starts off the film and carries on through the film. At the same time, making it something surreal, that it's a mythological creature, but it's beautiful at the same time. So it's a love-hate relationship, I guess, so to say. With that being said, is that he's not bad, he's not good. You know what I mean? He's in the gray zone. So for me, the character and the whole story is about something that is challenging within everybody else itself, with the whole cast.
I play Lexi, and she is the girlfriend of Kotz, who's played by Zane. She's been waiting for him to come home from war, as many women do, and she discovers that he's a completely different person when he comes back than the person that he left. And so my character is basically exploring what that's like, dealing with that, and also trying to ascertain whether it's psychological or whether it's supernatural. In the context of the film, of course.
I think my personal life spilled over into this character, and that's why it was kind of interesting for me, or not kind of, very interesting for me, that, I'm a father, and I have two kids that I feel totally responsible for, and will always, and I was able to tap into that, I think, and bring that to my performance. And I've got some cool emotional stuff in the film, I think. Hopefully it came across that way, and not comical, But yeah, I definitely use some of that, and in my real life, I do feel like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders in certain instances.
Was it the familiarity of the character to your own life that made you want to take on the role?
I mean, that obviously had an effect on it. I wanted to do the role just because it was an opportunity to act and to perform, and that's just what we want to do as actors. And I knew the producer already, and she introduced me to the writer, Russell, and the director, Russell, and we had meetings beforehand, and we hit it off, and I was very excited once I got to meet and read the material and then meet him. And you always want to work, you always want to work, period. That's the easy answer. But you always want to work, hopefully, with people you like and respect and can learn from, and that's what this situation was. It's a great learning experience and a blast.
What drew you to directing this type of film?
Well, I wrote the film, and what drew me to directing it is I really had a vision for it in my head. The backdrop for the story is based on indigenous or Native American myth, and it's my own sort of kind of bastardized version of a number of different myths that are sort of blended together from North America and Central and South American tribes, whether they talk about the Wendigo, the Wentico, Iktomi, which is a shapeshifter in Native American culture, could be the coyote or the spider. Mine is the Windwalker, which I made up, and it's this idea of what happens in these mythos that are often told are these spirits that are left behind that are conjured by the indigenous folks and the tribes to take revenge against the people that have taken their land or their natural resources. So it's a revenge myth.
Okay. So then in terms of what actually is a Windwalker, can you give us a little bit more of a description of it?
Well, if I told you what a Windwalker is, I'd be giving away the movie and you'd never see it, which opens here in September 25th in the UK and the United States on October 16th. But the Windwalker is that virus, if you will, that spirit of war, the blowback from what we have done in other foreign countries come back to haunt us. So it's a political movie too, which is cool.
What was it that made you pick up the character and the script and interested in playing the role?
When I read it, it was quite a few things. The mother of this film, I don't want to give too much away, but I was really taken by it because there's maybe more, but it involves the audience so much, and we don't really know what's coming from, and the way that it's written, there's a lot of weaving and interplaying of time and causes and possibilities, and so it was so interactive that it was a great challenge as an actor to find what vein to sort of fall into and still leave open question in the movie.
Well, I've been friends with Russell and Heather, who directed and produced it, so I know that their work is amazing. I did another film with them in Idaho, so as soon as they asked me to be a part of this, I jumped on the opportunity to work with them again.
Was it difficult portraying kind of like a wounded soldier and also kind of turned into a little bit of a monster?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I just did the best that I could with it,
And I guess what made you pick up this role in particular, and what was it that you particularly liked?
I thought that it was interesting. I thought that I'd never done a horror film before, but I thought it had some elements of being, a drama, a little bit of an action kind of thriller too. So I was excited to be part of something like that, and I met with Russell, and we got along great, so I said, let's do it.
I guess the complexity of the character, what drove you to picking up the script and actually just taking on this project?
Yeah, the complexity, when Russell Friedenberg came to me with the script, I love the character because he's so different, you know what I mean? It's not normal. I'm not normal. I'm wild. I'm crazy. I'm native. I'm free. I'm native. I'm Native American. And I'm free. This is what makes me beautiful. So, you know what? I like the character because it's free. You know what I mean? It's different. It's not like Hollywood other pictures where it's so safe to cut somebody up and blood all over the place. It's different. For me, it's something fantastic and beautiful, and I love it, so I appreciate it.
Was there anything that you found particularly difficult about portraying this character?
No. Well, yes and no. I think the character, it's a character within a character, if that makes sense. Because he is a person, then he manifests into something else, and then he becomes this mythological god, right? But at the same time, still staying kind of humanic to who he is as a person, right? So that's the complex part about it, is to juggle. I'm juggling the emotional aspect of the character to not make him be so horrific, but to make him beautiful in his state of mind. So
It's definitely not like a one-dimensional type of character.
it's like an onion. You're peeling it back. There's more layers. Absolutely.
The film does touch on a lot of Native American history and folklore. Was it important for you to kind of stay true to traditional kind of tales, or did you want to create something that was more tailored and more, I guess, more of your own entity?
It definitely is a blend. It came out of my own nugget, my own head. But what I was really concerned with when I was casting this and when I wanted to tell this story is I wanted to use as many indigenous actors as possible. That's why one of the reasons why I cast Rudy Youngblood and LaRose and Kiowa Gordon and Tsulan Cooper, because they are indigenous actors, and I think they're underrepresented. They're fantastically talented, and I think because there's a blood relation to this culture and the mythos of their own tribes, I think there's also a sort of a deeper sort of understanding, and I think it shows up on camera as well.
It definitely has some Native American, influence on it, and I don't think I want to stay true to the writer and what he's trying, and the director, who happens to be the same person in this case, which is nice, and convey what the story he wants to tell. And of course, he hires me because he wants to bring my personal touch to it. I don't necessarily go fact finding, and in this case, and see, okay, was there really this in real life, and if so, do I need to play it this way then, or do I need to make sure that this gets mentioned or never mentioned? I stayed away from that. I just wanted to make something. I'm all about entertaining and affecting, and just wanted to keep it true to that. So, is it a true take on an old folklore? But hopefully it's what Russell wanted to convey to his audience, and hopefully I brought that along.
How did you go about creating the mystery and just, I guess, kind of going beyond just like a horror film and actually having a bit of a psychological thriller to it?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's all about creating tension, and it's kind of like the actor's nightmare. It's like you're given the assignment, or the writer's nightmare, you're given the assignment, 7 people go to a cabin, what happens? We've seen it before, and it's never done the same, and it's oftentimes not done with a lot of tension. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of characters. It was very important to me, because I come from the world of theater, to create these characters that had backgrounds and sort of interconnected with one another. So there's a backstory, because that backstory plays itself out in the contemporary time and what we're seeing. And I really thought it was very important in the developmental and creative process to connect these actors and human beings, because they don't care for one another as a family, whether they're blood family or extended family. And the audience isn't going to give a crap when they start to disappear and actually return as other things.
Working in the past on films like Saw and Rico, did you bring the gore and guts to this film?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that. I'm not going to say it's like a big slasher film. So if you're just coming to see that, come anyhow, but don't expect that. But we've definitely got some elements in there. I think Russell was more interested in making a smarter movie than just a slasher movie. And not that there's anything wrong with slasher movies. I love them, and they have their place for sure. This I wouldn't consider that. But yeah, we bring a little bit of that. Yeah, I got a little bit of blood on me. I'll say that.